right, another video of 10 Days of Tezuka. This is again from our Yevon's Champions League match. Again, having recording issues, did not catch the first few moves, did not have sound, so I'm recording over after. But we can say what happened to get here. I played 3-9-9-8 and 1, which I thought was a really good starter. Let's see if we can move around on the video to get it. Hopefully I scroll down. I'll know in the future to make sure to scroll down when it's off my turn, just to make sure I can pause easily and show the viewer the cards. Because I thought his hand had some difficulty taking it. A2-9-7 could take from 4, but I had multiple combos back in 7. 6-7-6A could take from 2, but I could comfortably recapture in 4. And otherwise it was kind of hard for him to play against. But he found a very nice move, one I had predicted but thought I had good play against, with A2-9-7 in 5. With the point that Zidane in 2, or Zidane, however you want to pronounce it. I know from Zinedine Zidane it should be Zidane, but I also always pronounced it Zidane. So in my head, you know, Zidane is the soccer player and soccer coach, and Zidane is the FF9 character. And 5-7-A7 in 4. But I had an idea here, right? Because it used up all the up power in his hand. I thought I might be able to play... I had an idea with 7-6-7-6 in 4, which walks into a same in 2, which looks kind of scary. But then I thought I could play 7-6-A6 in 3, and I've locked in 2 and 3, and Yuna's going to be awesome in the end game there. I forget what scared me off, but I was originally, so the game went 1-5, and I was originally intending to go 4, but something there bugged me. I think it was if they go Kuros in 2 instead of Zidane, because I don't have combo play against 5, and while my card in 4 is just safe, I got worried about something there. I think that position's okay. I think I survive, but I don't think I'm the one pushing. So eventually I decided... I really liked Yuna in 9. I thought that was a hard card for them to deal with. It sets up a bunch of combo potential for me. But again, Tezuka plays awesome here. After a bunch of thought, Tezuka plays in 8, and suddenly none of the lines start working for me. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to play Hugo in 4. And I spent a lot of time on Hugo in 4. But I had trouble calculating it, because I had to check each card they could put in 7, and I kept, I think, misthinking of which card I was specifically looking at. Because often what you do when calculating something is you say, okay, I go here, they put something there, I go here, which cards do they need to have left, and figure out which they should have played by looking at the resultant position type and seeing which cards they'd want to hold on to, and then calculating with more specific cards in mind. I think that is in general a very useful thing to do. However, here, I kept getting confused with which cards they had in hand. But a few really important things to note. They have 2 plus walls in 2, and they have a same wall in 6 flipping Barrett. So if I play in 4, 7A, 7, 2, and 6 can be really scary. For instance, if I start with Hugo in 4, and they go Kuros in 7, right? They flip 4, it's currently 5-5, so he would be up 6-4. If I then take the plus wall in 2, I die to the same wall in 6. It flips way too much. So let's look at Kuros first. I go Hugo in 4. He goes Kuros in 7. He leads 6-4. I can't play 7-6-7-6 in 2. And he leads 6-4. So if I play 7-8-6-7 in 2, he still leads 6-4. Can play 5-7-A7 and 6. That captures Yuna. He's up 7-3. It doesn't matter that I capture back. I still lose 6-4. However, I think I have other ways to play against that move. What was my other idea? Yeah, if he uses Kuros in 7, he has no capture of 1 from 2. So he's up 6-4, but I can play... What can I play? Well, this is where I got confused and didn't find it. But it turns out afterwards that 7-6-A6 and 4 did tie, and I kept not being able to quite make it tie in my head. So 7-6 ace, and I'm having trouble clearly again now looking at it later, though, you know, I've spent less than the 7 minutes I had. 7-6 a6 and 4, Kyros in 7. Hugo 4, Kyros 7. I am down 6-4. If I go 7-6, 7-6 in 2, I lose. They have the same wall in 6. If I go 7-8, 6 in 2, I lose. They have Moonbrook in 6. If I go 7-8, 6-8 in 6, I lose to Moonbrook. No, that's the tie, yes. Because then if they play 7-8, 7-2 and 2, I flip back with 7-6, 7-6. And if they play Moonbrook in 2, it doesn't capture anything. And that's what I kept missing. I kept assuming Moonbrook captured, so 7-6, 7-6 wouldn't capture back and I'd lose, but I don't lose. And importantly, they also could play Moonbrook in 6, and that combos, but 7-6, 7-6 combos back in 2. Similarly, they can play 7-8, 7-2 and 3, and that combos 6, which combos 5, but comboing 5 is bad for him. And that's what I kept missing, was that they have 2 cards that have a flip in 2, but not all 3. And so the line I kept seeing that scared me off here was Hugo 4, Kyros 7, Pandemonium Warden in 6, Moonbrook 2, I thought was losing, but it isn't. Moonbrook doesn't flip anything. And again, this was because I started combining the cards he had in my head, where if you haven't specified which card is going where, you sort of start combining the remaining cards, and they have this superpower of he can play Kyros twice. But if I realize that, I think, okay, so he needs Kyros, what if he uses Moonbrook in 7? Well, that doesn't flip 4. Therefore, I can play, so it's still 5-5. I can then play 7-8, 6-8, and 2, I think. And I actually win. Yeah, that wins. So Moonbrook 7 doesn't work. And lastly, 7-8, 7-2, and 7 does flip Hugo, but it gives up the big threat in 6, so I can play 7-6, 7-6, and 2, because there's no counter combo in 6. So Hugo 4 worked, and I spent most of my time on it, and I couldn't get it to work. I had the calculation issue of confusing which cards have been played and which haven't, and sort of melding them all together into one super card. And I think this is a common and classic mistake, and it's a bummer I made it here, because my instinct was right. I felt I should slide here in 4. I felt that's what I should do. If I play in 2, the problem is I'm leaving lots of good combo squares for him, both 4 and 8, and those are not good combo squares for me, right? 2 is my only kind of combo square on the board. Blocking it is really awkward. If I play in 7, I thought that was just a worse version than playing in 4, because it's easy for them to go in 4, take 7, and not be weak to combos on Barrett. Well, if I go in 4, I can guarantee the card in 4 is weak to combos in Barrett. Now, of course, what you're probably thinking is I should be looking at 6 and the Q, and that is the other square I looked seriously. But I do want to say, I have played a similar hand to this one with Yuna's and kind of 7-6 A6's types, and the easy mistake to make with these hands is to use all your side-to-sides early. And that's kind of the mistake I made here, and that made the game a lot tougher than it should be. You can't go through, I think, playing through the first 2 moves without having used one of my 7-6-6s was probably like a slight mistake. Not a big enough one to lose, but one that was going to make the game really hard for me. Because either they have to have every square set up for them, or you can't have them both still in your hand, because they do such redundant things. And so I think when I made my move unit in 9, it looked good to me, but it had a problem. Now, we can look at 6, but the problem is I have all 7s facing up. So going in 6 just leaves him with combos everywhere. And importantly, like, Moonbrook kinda sweeps my hand over there, right? That 7 is safe to everything but 7-8, 6-8. 7-8, 7-2 can also take, like, if I go in 6, they combo with 7-8, 7-2, and 3. Sure, I can take back with something in 2, but then they play 5, 7, 8, 7, and 4 at the end, and it doesn't matter if I take it. It's comboed too many extra cards. Now, we can try to figure out lines where I have 7, 8, 6, 8 at the end to go in 7. We don't need to go over all the lines here, but I do believe 6 was a loss. I think there were like a couple ways to tie. I don't remember what the ones other than 4 were, but I don't think 6 was one of them. I think I was right to say 6 is losing. The general downside to 6, it necessarily flips 5, which is not something I particularly want flipped, because he has so much more combo potential on it, and it's very hard for me to go next to without being comboed, and while doing anything else. And 2, the many 7s up give him so much play against it. So I panicked, and I ended up finding a move. I believe I ended up playing in 2. After much thought. No, I went 6. So I looked at 2. I couldn't get 2 to work. I think there might be a move in 2 that works, but 2 is a huge pain as well. Like, it just looks like it dies to Moonbrook in 3, or something in 4, or something in 7. There were so many problems. So I got low on time, played this move, and I think it only gives Tezuka 1 win. I'm forgetting now. But he did find 7A, 7, 2, and 7. This is very nice. It keeps Moonbrook, which dominates the top row, and it keeps Moonbrook, which has the combo in 4, right? So, like, if I play, if I play in 4, I die to Kyros in 2, because the combo devastates me. Or if I've played 7, 8, 6, 8 in 4, it's not that it combos things, though it does combo an extra. No, it doesn't combo an extra card because it doesn't combo the 3, 9, 9, 8. But he's just up 6, 4, and my Hugo takes nothing. 2 just doesn't work. They play Moonbrook 4, and if I go 3, if I put Hugo in 3, they can just go in 2. And if I go Pandemonium Warden in 3, they can go in 4. Yeah. So, very nicely played by Tezuka. Great move in 8. And I really underestimated the danger of having the 2 7 6 6s in my hand. And then I did a really major miscalculation of 4. And so, great play by Tezuka. Obviously, I'm always going to be more focused on where I should have done better. But really well won by Tezuka, who does indeed. I go with Pandemonium Warden, so he takes 4, and I have nothing in 2. I thought, excellent move in 8. I think this is the star move, and I think I underestimated the cost of having little side to side, and he really took advantage nicely. He also did a fantastic job of combo play around Barrett in 5. And I think that was partially good in-game decision-making, but partially the hand-building. You know, seeing 7A, 7, 2 and A2, 9, 7 have good play. But specifically, they're only going to have that play if he gets A2, 9, 7, and 5. So there were reasons to do it just to set up against my starter, but his hand was also really well-built to play off that. So I think, much like the first game we played in the match, this is game 3, he won the hand battle, but also won the in-game battle. And this time, in game 1, I think I calculated really well to survive. In this game, I miscalculated and didn't survive, even though my instincts were pretty decent. But in both games, what happened was he built a good hand and managed to find creative, strong moves in the move 3-4 section to put a lot of pressure on me. And in one of them, I was capable of dealing with it, and in one, I wasn't. But that's all you can do in a game like this, right? Is you get the advantages where you can, you apply as much pressure as you can, and sometimes they'll find a save, and sometimes they won't. And in game 1 I did, and in game 3 I didn't, and Tezuka now leads the match 1-0. I believe all the rest have sound, so you'll be able to hear my live thoughts. But do tell me if this format of me commenting over the games after works for you. And, you know, it does make for quicker videos because there's not the downtime, and I can focus on what ended up mattering rather than kind of the scattered thoughts I might have during the game. But honestly, awesome play by Tezuka in these first 3 games. Deserves to take a 1-0 lead. Could easily be up 2-0 already. Has really dominated me on his sets. And has, on my set, played really well too, because he had a tough random, and he made it look easy to hold that tie. So great play by Tezuka. Hope you're enjoying these 10 days of Tezuka. And yeah,